lead into horrible emotional outpourings, and I don't know. I don't tend to trust that kind of phrase, particularly. So at the moment I would say, I don't know, I haven't got an answer. What does freedom of expression mean? Don't know.
I forgot. I rang you yesterday and it's sort of like, you know, I actually remembered to ring you to sort of say that I can't make it tonight, and now I'm here.
It's kind of changeable on
and I'm going to have to deal with that in a minute.
Well, it seems to be, my views seem to be changeable.
Another lie.
The things that I'm doing.
The amount of lies
I tend to see freedom of expression in quite a negative.
The amount of lies I tell because of my timekeeping is just.
I find quite hard to justify.
Just, do you know what I mean? It's stupid. And it's not the fact that I'm telling lies, because they're only little white ones, but do you know what I mean? It's still taxing. What means to make them sound believable. Like, what am I going to say to them? I told them that my car is playing up on me. I'm just going to sort of have a look. That was 20 minutes ago. They're going to be calling me down the radio saying, so I'm going to have to say, well, I went to a garage and I got chatting to this bloke and all the rest of it. Anyway, it's gone off the point. But yeah, sense of achievement is,
I suppose writing, I write.
Finding the time to do what I want.
I find writing is my most
because I want to do it.
Freedom of expression.
I'm expressing myself, whether it's to someone or not.
I suppose it's quite disciplined still.
Doing it. And, you know, and that's what's important to me.
Do you think that
otherwise I wouldn't be doing it, or otherwise I'd be trying to do it, but sort of running around, getting lost in, God, what time is it? Oh shit, I said I was going to do that. Oh Christ, I've got to ring so-and-so.
Well, maybe it's kind of using that phrase like freedom of expression with capital letters and little apostrophe marks around it, and so automatically makes you think, God, how do I express myself? You know, most of the time you're unaware of how you're expressing yourself anyway.
It's quite nice, isn't it? Sort of.
I guess that, you know, I express myself clearest when I'm teaching, which would be seen as freedom of expression, or when I'm at home with her, which may not be the case, which freedom of expression. But in terms of a feeling like I've got something to express and then finding a way to express it, I don't do a great deal of that. Other than writing mainly.
It's interesting to say for you see it in capital letters. You know, and then you get it in 10 minutes or so, you end up getting it.
Yeah.
You get the answer. Like, you phrase it in 4 or 5 different ways. And one of the ways is kind of like it just gives. Well, what we look for really is honesty. You know, I mean, you get us plenty of it. You know, sometimes a bit more difficult. You just want an honest response to it. You just want to weave in any way you can.
Yeah.
That's why we ask the question, because I think with other questions it'd be much harder to get. People will be so much more cagey, and rightly so, you know.
Yeah. Because it's
much as possible just asking them for their opinion.
Excellent. I really didn't want to smoke on.
Make sound checks come through. Okay, busy.
Right.
But what we'd like to know is what's the freedom of expression?
Freedom of expression. That you have the capacity to express yourself as you feel is right. Losing plot.
Is that what you want to say?
I'm lost. It's a bit of a big sort of big thing to sort of like.
want to say anything else? Do you think it's something, I suppose, that concerning yourself
freedom of expression, something that you determine yourself? How much freedom you've got is granted. How much freedom you've actually got to express yourself. Because, I don't know, I don't think that you haven't necessarily got a huge amount of freedom to express yourself as you want to for a lot of the time. Because there are certain restrictions that prevent you from doing that. Like from all over the place, you know, socially, whatever. Well, so kind of like now, I'm not free to say what I want. Like my mind says, and that places restrictions on my freedom of expression, because I don't know whether what I'm saying, like this situation is a situation where you're going to be like suspicious in some way, because like I don't know how you're going to use what I'm saying, so my free expression could be like used in another way by you. So it's not going to be me freely expressing something. It's going to be, so that makes me suspicious about me being free with expressing whatever I want to say. But it's like the thing that there's always some restriction from somewhere that stops you from being able to just, you know, say whatever you want to say or do whatever you want to do, because you've always got something else that's there. I mean, if you express, then it's like a two-way thing, because you can't just sit there and like express something to yourself. You express it to something, because it's a communication thing. And then whatever you express it to, put some restriction on what you're expressing. Because you like adjust what you're saying according to like the circumstance that it's coming out in.
Spent 6 months researching this.
Generally, no. Sometimes I think I do. But I don't know, if I sat and thought about it most of the time, I wouldn't be free. I wouldn't be expressing myself freely, because I'd be saying something that was kind of censored in some way by my head, so that it would be appropriate to the situation that I'm in. I don't know, but I was going to say something just really
she loved him and celebrated him, but I think sometimes she felt that the kind of support and she had given him hadn't been returned. Do you have a favourite love story?
Freedom thing gets a bit problematic anyway, because like there's the thing where I don't know, freedom of expression,
expression is the right, word at a time. Freedom of expression is the right to produce, publish, broadcast, generate and distribute to other people any material which you personally feel you want to, and which you personally feel you are doing in a way, in such a way that you are not entering into any kind of bad faith with other people unless it's deliberate. So freedom of expression for me is about being able to produce kind of anything you want, so long as you feel kind of honest about it yourself.
What about right? Feel that what right? See the pretty interesting thing like that.
Yeah, when I say right, I don't mean a kind of given right. By right, I mean I guess a kind of moral ideal. But in that sense, kind of what a government allows you to do. A right is something given to you usually by a state. So by right, I don't kind of mean something that you're kind of born with. I guess a right, in the sense I'm using it, I don't mean a right. I mean a permission. Yeah, freedom of expression is a permission.
You know,
A state
it's amazing because
state
if I'm one person
through like laws
in
or through
for example in the art,
covert
during the
means.
night, and I just sit
And by
behind
rising
or
by state, I don't mean
below
a single thing, but all those different operations of
and
the state.
if I the conversation, okay, just hear, listen. If I met him, for example, next morning with a different kind of people, I noticed that he behaves in a different way, and if someone asks the same questions, perhaps because he's a different person, it's much more important, or he thinks that the other person should like that he said the things the other side. So he did it, and I don't agree with this behavior. If you believe in, if you have your beliefs, and if you think that it's like this, should be like this, not because the other person thinks or knows that things should be like that. You don't need to be afraid to express what you feel. It's exactly what I think.
How do you express yourself?
Myself. I come from a wonderful place near the sea, and I really love the sea. And if I need to compare myself with something, it's with the sea, because nobody can stop the sea. Nobody can, even if you try to build something, in the sea will, if it's not placed there, the sea will destroy it, and the sea just keep going. And one day, big waves, very, like, I don't know the word in English, very wild. I think that I'm too wild sometimes, Wild. White? No. Wild. Yes, wild, yeah. And, yes, I think that I express myself like the sea, same as the sea, yeah. And sometimes, perhaps you are not going to understand why I express myself like the sea, because I born near the sea, I live near the sea, I grew up near the sea. So it's like, you can find a peace in the sea, you can feel very, very well in the sea. Just say it, and I don't know. Yes, I express myself like the sea.
Just around it, really. Yeah, well, if you just sit still for a minute and we do a couple of still shots and fade up from a blank screen. So you just look at the camera. You just look at the camera.
Do what?
Different shots.
Like with a different side?
No, you should look at the camera.
Alright.
This is just to introduce
Okay.
on the video. How do you feel?
I know. It was difficult because I thought it was much more about something, not about by myself. Yeah. So that's why it wasn't difficult. The only problem was the English. I don't know if you understand most part. I try. Yeah.
More than the English people.
Come on. Yeah. If I could speak, because there's some when I spoke about say, I know so I can, how can I say? For example, to identify myself, there are some key words that I can, say. I think that I might do. That's not, it's done. No, it's alright. No, it's okay now. It's alright.
You can say what you want to say.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
We finished?
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Alright.
Perspective, very well.
Okay.
Right, first of all, just ask your name, really.
Well, you're asking my name now.
So, I mean, are you saying freedom of expression in an artistic sense, or just in a whole world?
Well, just taking praise and seeing how.
Well, freedom of expression actually sounds like a club night to me.
Okay.
A club night. That'd be a good name for a club night. But I don't know, I suppose you could class the way I have my hair as freedom of expression. I put sunflowers in my hair because I want to. If they look stupid, to somebody else, I don't care, because personally when I look in the mirror I think they look cool. And that's how I see freedom of expression, which I don't think you get a lot of in England. Definitely not.
So is it, do you feel it in positive or?
Definitely. I think people should have more freedom of expression. They should, I don't know, you should be allowed to express yourself without having to worry about your peers, what people will think of you, whether it is in an artistic sense or in an everyday sense, no matter what. If you want to do something because you just want to do it, there doesn't have to be any sort of deep meaning behind it. You should be able to do it, but there's too many pretentious people. You can't do things without having some psychological reason. I don't know. I just think the world's pretty screwed up about expression. Too many sheep. Far too many. Can't think of anything else.
Do you think there's a pressure for?
Definitely. But as soon as you're born, you have to conform. You're taught how, from your parents, if you've got laid-back, funky parents, then you're on a better sort of angle. If you've got parents, like strict Catholic parents, like my mum was brought up in a strict Catholic way, and my dad was out stealing cars when he was young. They're pretty unusual to have together, but they've brought me up in a very sort of individual way somehow, even though my mum her family was very conformed, very mass every Sunday, confession. My mum has never forced me to go, to church or anything, and my dad has never my dad was brought up on a council estate, he's never sort of taken me that way. You walk down the street and people are just conforming in the way that you walk, in where you're going.
Myself or the venue?
Well, how long have you been here yourself?
I've been here for a year, give or take a month or two.
What sort of stuff do you do here?
We do food, and we do parties downstairs, and we do gigs, and we do events of varying descriptions.
So how do you incorporate the variety of influences in your work?
Variety of influences in my work?
Like music and stuff like that?
Really, with just a varied events program. That's pretty much all I can do. We try and book across a range of genres and different shows, and we incorporate art into what we do as well. think really that's pretty much the best way we can do that.
Where are you from?
I'm personally from the Peak District, a place called New Mills, between here and Sheffield.
How did you end up in Manchester?
I used to do parties here before I had the job, and I migrated to Manchester soon after I got the job.
What most inspires you? Inspires what you do?
Probably other clubs around the world, and how the Golden Poodle in Hamburg is a huge influence for a lot of the things that we do here, both their approach to art and programming.
Do they have like a similar setup to what you have here?
You could say that, yeah, a little bit smaller, but yeah, similar.
What do you like most about your work?
Essentially, amongst other things, I get paid to listen to music in a club, and you can't really beat that.
What have been the best bits of your career so far and the worst bits?
Worst bits are the late nights, early mornings. Best bits include parties that we've done with people like Floating Points, and seeing some of the local resident DJs downstairs on the big sound system, which is always good.
What's your favourite thing at the moment?
Favourite thing?
Yeah, like ice cream or food.
Favourite thing at the moment? Oh, that's an obscure question.
What music are you listening to at the moment? Anything in particular?
I'm listening to a lot of different stuff at the moment. I've just picked up a release on a Friends record label, Rough Cuts No. 9.
What's it called?
Rough Cuts No. 9, and that's particularly great. That's what I've been listening to most recently.
Right, I've got one question for you.
Right.
What does freedom of expression mean to you? Take whatever time you need to take.
Is this as an artist or as a citizen? As an individual. I think it's a notion about distribution. Really, it's about being able to distribute ideas or materials or any notion just out into the culture at large, really.
You see, when I suppose you said personally, like as an artist, and first of all, personally, how does it make you feel that term being expressed? Does it make you feel happy? Does it make you feel sad? Or do you feel that it's alive? What do you feel? Your reaction?
I think, for a start, like the reason why I kind of differentiated that, whether as an artist or as a citizen or whatever, is often used as a term around citizenship, and it's like that there being a flip side to this idea of freedom of expression in a democracy, and that flip side being responsibility and some moral responsibility. And it's like I have certain doubts about expressing morality of any sort in art.
So when you hear the phrase that if you don't really think, you're free to do what you want to do?
That's still not in our culture particularly, no. There are various examples of artworks or artists or whatever who would get persecuted for following their right to express what they wanted, what they honestly believed, or what they truthfully wanted to represent or show or put out into the culture.
You can't go into a shop and say, oh, I'd like to buy a phone speak to a hippo or whatever. You have to make it yourself. So they're all like biology's Mr. Gadget squirreling away in their shed, creating these things. So some of them, the last night, Bill, who made this fantastic discovery about hippos, he had a hydrophone attached to two sticks that's wrapped around a hamster run, yeah, it's a hamster run at the end. It was a hamster run. There's another scientist on last night was using a pair of his mother-in-law's tights stretched over a very important piece of kit that costs £500,000 that normally tests vibrations on jumbo jets. So they're all sort of cobbled together from all different things. And the vervet monkeys, I was using a garden ornament because there've been no leopards in Mombasa for 20 years, so I had to go and get this garden ornament to show them. And then when I was doing the hawk, I had a broken kite. Actually broke halfway through the experiment. I was thinking this isn't going to work, but it still did work. So
you know what occurs to me? Like, you're talking about a lot of exotic animals. There'll be people at home now thinking, well, I talk to my dog or cat every day, and they understand every word, and I can understand that. I can understand noises that they make too. Is that a version of the same thing? Because some people say they absolutely understand. Dogs bark for a certain thing, or cats meow, or they sound different. They can have a dialogue.
Well, we didn't do pets in this, so we just did about animals speaking to each other. But I do know that dogs, for instance, and the reason why they're man's best friend is because we have a really fantastic ability to read each other's emotions and communication. So whether you are